Today we have in our studio Miss Joan Gaston, and she'll talk to us today about her journey, her being diagnosed and surviving breast cancer. Welcome, Pepe.
Thank you.
Welcome, Joan.
Thank you.
All right, so we're just gonna chit chat a little bit about um, your journey through chemotherapy, through being diagnosed with breast cancer. So, but before we get into that, tell our audience who is Joan, who is Joan Gaston, so we can have a little background.
So I am Joan Gaston. I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, migrated to the States in 89, um, lived in Brooklyn, New Jersey, and then now I'm in Arizona. Um,
Ah, you all you're in Jamaica and Arizona. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a state I need to visit because I see your pictures and I'm like, ooh, that sunset is like everything. Yeah, one of these days.
yes. The sun
Yeah.
melts on the top of your head. Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
when you came to America, you went back to school. What did you do?
So when I migrated to the States, I didn't go back to school right away. I ended up having kids, and I had one child that I brought with me from Jamaica. I left Jamaica
Um,
in 89 when I had 1 year left in teachers college.
Chipper.
So when I migrated to the United States, I didn't start school right away. I ended up just, I guess, dating, you would say. But I did bring my first child from Jamaica to the States. And so I was mainly focused on like taking care of him. So it wasn't until the second child that I went back to school to get an associate in social work. And then I finished that and was attending Rutgers and moved from Rutgers in the middle of my bachelor's degree and came to Arizona and then just worked and didn't really go to school right away either. Right. You just, when you have kids, you focus on, I guess, raising a family versus thinking of yourself. So put your children before you. So that was my focus for quite some time, just raising the children and so forth.
All right. And you want to share with us what you say? Did you share with us what you studied while you were in college here?
Yes, I studied social work. I was
So,
working, yeah, I was working in a daycare in Arizona. I started like as the secretary, and then I ended
right.
up being the director, and most of the communications was with the parents and the children. So I was like, well, I guess I could get a degree in social worker and just see what it's all about. So I did that for 2 years.
Okay. Awesome. 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 So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. We're gonna talk about your journey. So when you first discovered that you had breast cancer, tell us how that happened. Was it a routine checkup? Did you like, as we know that they said women we should self-examine our breast to see if there's anything that's different. How did you find out that something was going on that's not supposed to be in your body?
So about 2010, I remember it exactly. I was told that I needed to go get a physical, a full checkup, and I have not had any checkup like my entire life. So I went to the doctor, and the checkups, the physical, everything consisted of doing a mammogram. So when I finished the mammogram, they actually emailed me the results saying something was abnormal. So I didn't think anything of it, but I took it over to my pastor, and she was like, "Oh, no, 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 let's go further to see another doctor." So I went to this doctor, and she looked at it and she said, "Let's go get it biopsy." So when it was
Right.
biopsy, it was benign. And then, they put two little dots. We call it a silver ball. They'll put
Hmm.
the balls in there and they'll let you know that that is for them to come back and check. So over the years, every time I would go get a mammogram, it would always be abnormal and for further checkup, but everything was always benign. Yeah.
And how did you at that moment? Did you feel like were you like afraid of anything, like what the other results gonna be?
In 2010, not really. I didn't even think of it.
Hmm.
I just had in the back of my head that I needed to continue getting regular checkups because my mom had passed away and she had breast cancer. She died at 51. So with that being said, I was forced to go and just go every year, but no symptoms. Nothing was wrong in my body. Nothing was hurting. Nothing was going on with the breast, just a regular checkup. And then in 2020, what is this? 2021, I went and had another mammogram. And
Right.
but in 2021 was when it took a turn for the worse.
Okay, so that's when. But did they advise you on what to do or what not to do so that it won't progress into cancer? Like, did your physician advise you, specialist, anybody advise you
No,
what? So they
no.
just every year they just carry back and just take a test.
Yeah, every year
Oh,
they carry me and take a test. Every year they said if when it's abnormal, I would have to go in for like another screening, a closer screening, and they look at it and they examine it, and they will be like, it's flesh over flesh. Something is growing, but it's flesh. They never at any point in time says it was cancerous
until 2021. You said
until
21, right?
yes.
So in 2021, when they did tell you, look, this is it, your cancer is here. How did that affect you mentally, emotionally? How did that affect you?
So it's funny that you ask because prior to me going to the doctor that
Mm-hmm.
particular week, I had the most horrible back pain and I couldn't get rid of the back pain. I was in urgent care getting a shot to get rid of the pain like November 1st. And then they
Mm-hmm.
said, Joan, your checkup was tomorrow. You need to go have the mammogram. So I go to the mammogram. Right after that, I went to the biopsy. And then November 2nd, next day, the doctor called and she said, you need to come in. You were diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. So we need to see you in the office.
So how did that affect you? Just to hear the word, when we were younger, people were afraid to say the word cancer. They said the big C. So
Yeah.
how did that affect you, like your mental status? You hear the big C.
Mentally, it affected me a lot. I couldn't think straight. I kept saying, is this me? Is this happening to me? No, it's not. But it was like, yes, it was. And I was devastated for quite some time that entire month. I didn't know where I was going to come in. I didn't share it with anyone because, it's something that you have to go through yourselves. So, who you're going to talk to? But hey, I'm diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. What's next?
I can just imagine. And how did that affect the children? Because I know by then the children, you have older children, grown children, right?
Right.
Your kids are a little bit older, so they understand what's going on. How did that affect them?
You know, honestly speaking, I have no idea because I think once I told them, everybody just goes in their room. No one really want to talk about it. I just said, we're just going to go through the stages of what I need to do. So the children mentally, I don't know. I have no idea how they felt and what was going on in their head. But I know no one no one thought of death, right away because I just kept saying it's stage one, it's caught early, we can do something
Right.
about it. So, with that being said, then I sort of gave them some form of comfort.
Right. But we see upon social media every, I want to, not every day, but every time I sign on, it's always on my feed. And who could tell? Like you didn't say it, you didn't show it. The only thing I know, you were getting up early in the morning. She loved her workout. 4 o'clock in the morning, this my girl gone at gym. Then I realized that you were, that's this afterwards though. I realized that you were going to the gym to keep your muscles, because did you do chemo? You had to do
Yes,
chemo.
yes,
You did
yes.
chemo. And chemo, and I know that it's one of the side effects of chemo is that you lose your muscle mass. So was that the reason why you were working out, pumping higher, and doing all the things that you were doing?
No, because I started going to the gym since 2015 because
Hmm.
growing up, I was skin and bone, 99 degrees, 99 pounds. And I was like, there was never anything that I need to work out until I had like my last child. Then it was like from a size 6 to a 13. So I was like, okay, time for you to do something. Then I had sciatic nerve issue, which prevented me from working out. So I've been working out in 2015. But I just kept going because, as you mentioned, the side effects of chemo is losing muscle, muscle. They gave me the side effects when I came home, and I threw the paperwork across the room. I'm like, I'm not reading this because I don't want it to get inside of me. I'm just gonna see what is gonna happen. So after chemo, you are supposed to be dizzy, weak the next day. And I would go to the gym the next day and I would be like telling them at the gym, I may not be here tomorrow because I don't know if I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be dizzy. But when I woke up those mornings, I had energy. So I said, yes,
Oh,
let's get to the gym.
you went against the grain. You doing, let's say, defy gravity. So instead of being weak from the chemo, you were gaining strength.
Yes, I was.
Seem like the total opposite of, well, you should be a case study all by yourself. You should really be a case study, because most people that I know of that have gone through the treatments, they weak and they lose their muscle, they have no energy. But maybe something else is there that you don't know, and we know a higher power, somebody, something that was just carrying you through.
Yeah, one of the things which is a little part of my spiritual walk is I didn't want chemo. Chemo was not in the big picture in the first place. It was, we're just going to remove your breast and that's it, not even radiation. But things turned out for the worse because they were focusing on one breast and not the right breast. Then, right before surgery, they found out there's a lump in the right breast along with 8 lumps in the left breast. So they asked me to go biopsy. I said, nope, just take it off. So when they took off both breasts at the surgery, they didn't know the type of cancer that was in the right breast until a week later. I went back to the doctor and they said, the doctor's like, we've never seen this happen before. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, you have the most aggressive cancer in your right breast. So we have to put you back in surgery. We have to give you chemo port. We have to take out your lymph nodes. And I literally burst in tears because I was like,
Mm.
at that point, it was like, wow, okay, this is not going the way I thought. And then I said to the doctor, but I don't want any chemo. And he says, Joan, I'm going to give you the chemo port. What are you talking about? But while on chemo, when everything was finished, before I go on chemo, I was sitting in the chair and I was literally crying before they start. And then this little voice whispered to me and it says, "Why don't you bind up the chemo side effects?" And I was like, "What?" It says, "Bind up the chemo." So before I go to sleep, because they put give you all the stuff, I pray against it every day, every morning, for as long every day I was getting it before I walk out there, not getting any side effects. So that little higher power, I guess, took over my mental, I'll put it that way, and allow me to push through, not paying attention, not realizing that I'm on chemo. I shouldn't be doing this. And I just kept going.
Like an energizer bunny. So has it affected, I know it affected you, but how about the family, like your close, your children, your whomever, your close family members? Because I'm pretty sure you had some changes in your life that probably, quote unquote, wasn't the norm. So did it affect your family in any way? Because I know I think your daughter just turned 18, I think.
Actually, she's
Your youngest just
22.
turned 18?
The youngest turned 20. So I have
Hey,
20 and the daughter is 22.
okay.
It's I think
Okay.
it did affect them because like the youngest one, he went and got a sign for his car with some words about cancer, and then he got another one for the others. But my daughter was one that really voiced her feelings. One day we go out to eat after church, and they ask her, "How do you feel about your mom getting cancer?" And she broke down and she was like, "Well, because I lost my husband in 2007, and they were 3 and 4, and they saw that. So to go through that, she mentioned that, well, we watched our dad die, and so now we're thinking we're gonna watch our mom die." And I was like, wow. And then tears
Right.
came to her eyes, and I was like, that was the first time I was hearing a feedback from one of them. The middle one,
Mm,
the middle one says, "She's gonna be all right. Mom is gonna be all right." But again, you don't know till you talk to them and hear internally what they're going through.
right. 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 But so a typical day for you now is what? What would you say your typical day now? Like after surviving and being the strong person that you are, what is a typical day for you like?
So
Emotionally and physically.
a typical day for me is like, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I pray and I read the Bible, and I give my day over to God, because the next day is not promised. So when I wake up, I'm literally, okay, my eyes are open. Thank you, Lord. Then
Yeah.
I would just go about my day working. I go work out for 30 minutes, and then I come back. Some days, if I feel like walk, I walk. And then now that I am working from home, I just start working from home, have lunch, keep my mental going. What I started doing the most was I play YouTube gospel song, YouTube word, listening to different preachers, because the mind is
Mhm.
constant going and going and going. So I found ways to overpower the negative. Do I think about this, cancer? Of course, because the thing is, cancer is supposed to come back. And if I allow cancer to come
Mhm.
back, not that I allow it, but I have to deal with it again, you know? So I have to
Mhm.
focus on getting an alkaline diet, an alkaline body, plant based, because if your body is alkaline, the cancer cells cannot grow. So that is one of my main focus daily, is to try to eat no meat, no sugar, no starchy process, eat healthy so that I can not even think about it, you know? So it's the mind goes. I'm not gonna lie, the mind goes a lot, but I try not to think about what I've gone through or what I'm going through. I think about moving forward. I stayed in school. I'm in college, getting
That's what you said right through your treatment, your diagnosis and your treatment that you were in school. You finished whatever you had to do.
yep, yep.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
went
And
back.
don't forget, to take picture every day.
Yeah, I went back to school in 2017 to finish up the bachelor's, and I haven't stopped since 2017. I went and got the bachelor's, the MBA, signed up for the doctorate. Even when they diagnosed me, I didn't take a break, and the school offered me special accommodations. I didn't even take it because by me working on my dissertation, you're thinking. So then you don't have time to think about what's
Yeah.
going on.
Right, right. And then in the midst of this, I understand that you wrote a book. Your
Yes.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
want to
I,
tell us a little bit about the book?
yep. So the book is basically, like we discussed, I went against the odds. And so it is it's unknown that anyone should be able to work out during chemo. So when I'm
It's
working out,
you said it because you're the first, really the first person that really, really, really pushed everybody else. For the people that I have met, they were
yeah,
always so hard on themselves. What did I do wrong? So with you writing a book, finishing school, going to the gym at 5 in the morning, um, wow, awesome.
yeah, yeah, the book was, I normally, okay, so when you go to the gym, it's not easy. Let's put it that way. It may look easy, but it's not. So I would video a workout that is,
Look at all those
I would,
muscles. That's the cover of the
yeah,
book.
I would video a workout I accomplished. And so this particular date, I said I was gonna write a book anyway about the cancer, but everybody's like, everybody writes a book about the cancer. But this particular day, this little voice says, why don't you write a book about how you made it through chemo while working out, which put a different spin on it. And
Right.
so, right. So the book is just, yeah, this is what I done, but again, it's all with the mind as well, because you can tell yourself that you're not going to make it versus, hey, let me give this a try. One of the side effects of the chemo is neuropathy. So neuropathy is was in my toes, both toes, so I couldn't do jumping jacks. I couldn't do some of the workouts because I would be scared. When you go down, you're feeling your toes have no feeling, so you have to be careful when you land. But the book was just, hey, let's see. Here it is. I made it. I did it. It worked. So here are some techniques that can help other people out there not think it's the end of the day, it's the end of the world. You can still make it.
So for people who might not realize, who have not realized that they can work out, I know your book is on Amazon. I'm just sharing the page. So you want to talk? You don't have to give away what's in the book, but your book is here on Amazon. So for those who want, how do they get to it? Tell the audience how would they get to purchase a copy of your book.
So you just go to Amazon.com and you type in Stronger Through Chemotherapy, and it will pull up by me, Joan Gaston, and it says, a fitness warrior that's conquering, like a guy that conquered the side effects of chemotherapy with the workouts. And there's a electronic version as well, and the hardcover. So it's up to your
Okay.
preference what you want. And I always say, leave a feedback.
Right, 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 right. And I would encourage anybody because until I heard your story, I talked to you. recently, a little bit, off air, before this chit chat. And when you were telling me, like, dang, girl, because, and as I said to you, I never knew, I didn't suspect. You were always that same vibrant person, like you always are. Online, your stupid jokes, your funny jokes, not stupid in that sense, but you always make me laugh by your postings. And but the first time I saw you bald, and I said this to you before, and here am I like, oh, she's fighting with gray hair, where gray hair is the least of a problem, you know. So, but yeah, but I'll tell people go out and support Joan, and see what she has to offer, because I've never seen anybody go through chemo and just have that such a positive attitude. Not only the positive attitude, but that's physical strength. That's like unheard of. And thank you for sharing your experience um, with us through your book. You know, so if you have to tell, uh, all right, usually you have more women than men who have breast cancer, but men do have breast cancer also. Because I've known people with men with breast cancer. But what do you have to share um, to tell somebody who might not think that they would be a victim of such disease? Like, what do you have to tell us? Like, what to look for, how to take care of ourselves. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, what I've learned over the couple of years just going through it, and I am actually like under the care of a naturopathic doctor who would tell me, some of the supplements to take, because chemo, after when you're going through the chemo, it breaks down your immune system. So while going through it, you have to find ways to keep that immune system going. The doctor had mentioned
Mm-hmm.
to me, I thought chemo comes out of your body after 5 years. And the doctor says, no, chemo stays in your body forever because it keeps going through the different organs and goes through and try to kill the cells. But it's killing the bad cells, and it's killing your good cells.
Your
So you're
good for your good
basically
self.
breaking you down. But if you um, eat healthy, it's known out there, if you have the, like I said before, if you get the alkaline or the plant-based diet food, basically just fruits and veggies, and stay away from a lot of the foods that we eat, because the cancer cells can grow on those cells. So if you have the alkaline, and the same thing for the muscles, and this was shared to me by the doctors, the oncologists, a few weeks ago, where they mentioned that people that are working out, it's becoming difficult for cancer cells to grow, because the cancer cells don't know which part of your body to go, because you're building muscles. So it's like, where do I go attack?
Okay.
So yeah, so
Okay.
you can do all
That one
stuff.
is new. That one is new to me. Yeah. Okay. So I
Yeah.
need to start working out.
Yeah.
So but and it's also said that sugar is like a palace for the cancer cells.
And
Yes.
what is the thing is, what's out there, like, it's up to you. If you're, you have it, right, and you're going through it, and sugar is, so you can get sugar, you replace your sugar. You do the raw honey, the natural honey, that's good, agave. Those things is what you put instead of sugar. So everything, there's a healthy version of it. Yes, it costs, but I look at it, I would rather go to the grocery store and come home with $100 of healthy stuff, versus going to sit in front of the doctor and they say, well, you have this, you have that, because you've had too much sugar, because there's diabetes out there too. But yeah, we just got to watch the
Right.
sugar intake and make sure it's natural sugar versus sugar and added sugar. Next thing, you're drinking a drink and you have 150 grams of sugar.
and it's easily um for it's so easy for us to consume the things, but it's so because the things that's not good for us, I think they're cheaper, they're more accessible, so it's just so easy for us to just grab and go, and it's not healthy, and then we go to sleep because a lot of us still don't exercise, you know. So, but I'm so glad that you're able to share with us though, and you're not holding back. What lesson have you learned through all of this that you could pass on to any one of us, your children, to the people who are connected to you? What are some of the lessons that you learned? At least one.
One of the lessons that I've learned through all of this is don't give up easily. You don't have to intake everything and anything somebody tells you, because that information that you receive can break you down. Whatever it is, a simple something does not go the way that you want, then you shut down. So what I've learned is keep going and find a way to keep going, because that is one of the hardest thing. My journey could have caught me to say, I am not going to finish school. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And I just kept going. The month of November when I got diagnosed was this week. They said, Joan, you have breast cancer. 2 weeks later, I was signing the title for my second home. I purchased my second home. And in my head, I'm like, why even why even do this? Why even do this? But I'm like, no. And my children these days, they're not perfect. They don't have it all together, but every one of them can tell, look at me, says, Mom, you never stopped. You never stopped. You have taught us to keep going. You have taught us to never give up, no matter what it is. So if they have a down day, hey, get up. And the same thing, my son sees me, one of my son, the middle one, he'll see me have down days, and he'll literally said, Mom, come on, put your clothes on. We're going for a walk. I remember a couple of years ago, he took me in the mountains to walk because he says, you're not being depressed. You're not getting depressed here. And so we do the same thing for each other. So just don't give up. It's not all that it is. And that if you know, one of the things that I would want to share to is, this is what kept me going. So we know there's God, He's the author and He's the finisher of our faith, right? So that
Mm,
means He already wrote the book on your life, right? So whatever is happening in your life, it's meant to happen because He wrote that book. So for me, cancer is a part of my journey. Now, what am I going to do with the journey? What am I going to do with the cancer journey? Because He's already knew it was going to happen. And so once I gained that knowledge and that revelation, if you want to call it that, I started saying, okay, what do you do with anything someone tells you that's wrong in your life? Do you give up? You just keep going.
right, right. But here you are, you're able now to educate us, um, remind us of what we need to do and how to do it. And as you said, and I like the attitude that you have, by just saying this is what it is, and you just have to work with what you have. And who knows the reason why you have it? Maybe the reason, who knew that you could exercise at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning for someone who's going through chemo? A lot of us, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's like, chemo? No, everybody's just weak. The last person I spoke to, well, not the last, but someone that I spoke to recently who went through chemo, she says, like, she vomited, uh, like she was so nauseous, she couldn't eat, she didn't want to get out of bed. It was just a mess, you know. But to see you use what you have and you're able to share it with us, just let's say give thanks to the universe for everything that happens, because um, with your knowledge now, I'm pretty sure there are people who will learn from what you've from your experience, basically. You know, so it's just your journey, Joan's journey.
Having a good support system helps a lot too.
Okay, and these are your close friends and family,
Yeah, close friends and
and
family,
and your
church.
medical and your medical team.
Yeah, yeah,
So at this point, like you said you did a double mastectomy. You said that, right?
yeah.
Been
Yes.
for all that you have been through, what are you most grateful for at this point in your life? It doesn't have to be cancer itself or the journey through having cancer, but what, at least one thing that you have been grateful for.
I am
We're
very
gonna kind of
grateful.
wrap it
Yeah, I'm very grateful for life in itself. Honestly speaking, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to be able to see my children, my grandchildren. I'm able to be still have close relationships with them. But because the fact of this is supposed to happen and this and that, I just say no. You have to find something to pinpoint and run with it and grasp it. So for me, getting up every day, waking up, opening my eyes, I'm like, okay, I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful for school. I never thought I would be in school. That's whoops. I never thought. And I went to school to get the bachelor's. I thought I would finish. I went to the graduation and I'm watching everybody getting, hooded. And they were like, come on. And I'm like, no, I'm staying for the whole thing. And when they put the hood over these people and like, oh, that's Dr. Caroline, I sat right there and I said, Dr. Jones sounds nice. Let me go get it done.
up. I like that. I like
And
that.
so
I like that.
people ask me, well, what are you doing for your doctor? You're going to get a better job? And I'm like, I really don't have any plan. I just say Dr. Jones sounds nice. And so
So
that sort of keep me going is being grateful to get this far, being grateful knowing that it's coming close. And yeah, there's ups and downs, there's hiccups in life, but yeah, just grateful for me to keep going, to get through everything, school, the children, and just life. And one thing, being able to raise
superwoman.
my children. Yeah, being able to raise my children from 2007. They were babies, teenagers, and raise them without a husband. That is something
Awesome.
I'm grateful for.
Right. And as you said, your children are not perfect, but they're not the worst.
No, no, no.
Yes. 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 So is there anything that we do not know about Joan that we didn't talk about that you want to share with us that anything at all? Is there anything that you want to share with us that we might not have chit chatted about?
Let me see. Not really. I think we covered most because I always consider myself an open book. I don't know how to sugarcoat anything. They tell me I'm too literal and I'm too straightforward. So what you see is what you get.
That's fascinating. Right,
My
but I'm not gonna keep your time up much longer. I know you say you have to run, you gotta go. But it was nice chit chatting with you. And again, as I said, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't have to know, but it was this year that I realized when you know how I realized it before you say you wrote the book. You made a post. You said you were somewhere. I don't know if it was a mall, and a little girl kept looking at you. I don't remember that post. And she finally was brave enough to come and ask you, "Why is your head bald? No, why you don't have any hair on your head?" You remember that post? And you said,
Yeah,
because I
yeah, yeah.
shaved it. And she said, oh, and walked away. And then you started talking about you having cancer. I'm like, okay, all right, all right. But you wear that bald head. I mean, it looks nice on you. And if anybody don't know this woman, I think her page is public. Joan Gaston.
Yeah.
She take picture every day in a every. I would love to see her wardrobe or closet. different color or different style. When our birthday month come, she start advertise the birthday from 2 months before because she doesn't celebrate birthday, she celebrate birth month. And she makes sure she goes away and then she shows off on us in a nice way. She depend on yacht and she depend bike and she there ride bicycle and she are distance, she depend scooter and girl, I lift my hat off to you. I lift my hat. I can say that I know somebody who is resilient, who is strong and purposeful. And it's just so nice that if there's a negative in having breast cancer, it's nowhere near around you.
Right.
You make your life so positive, like people don't even think about you want that shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Joan and breast cancer shouldn't even be in the same sentence because there's no way, you know. And you know, I give thanks that I know you and that I'm able to chit chat with you and for you to share and hear your journey.
Yeah.
I thank
People are,
you.
people always ask me, I get it a lot, like even in my inbox saying, how are you living? How do you keep a positive life? How do you keep cheerful? And I was like, hey, you just have one
Tell
day.
them by the book, and then we know. Support the book. Yeah, it's on Amazon, people. What's it called again?
Stronger
What's
through
your book?
chemotherapy.
Through Chemo. Yeah. So tell them to buy the book, and then we know how to be strong.
I have two more books coming.
Okay, that Mr. You said my first book. I was supposed to ask you that. He said
Yeah,
my first book. So I was about to ask you.
yeah.
Planning
So
to write. Okay.
my second book will be about the entire journey. Like the first one is just about making it through the
Chemo.
chemo, um, working out.
Hmm.
The second one is going to be about my life because I know, I'm not going to say I think, I've had a very, very, very interesting life, like all of us, but mine is woo out there.
All right, ring that bell. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.